Welcome to Everlasting Summer. This is Semyon's route. I was planning on doing this route completely on my own, right? And I was doing it on my own. Right? This is I was just right after recording Monday's episode, and well, I came across text. I was just using the auto skip and thing, and I have the guide up, and I'm sitting there just consulting it. If I have missed if like. I said they'd be like, okay, this girl, like, it's a plus for this girl, okay, whatever, cross it off. I've started the car, gotten 2 for Slavia, 1 for Lena, 1 for Elisa, 2 for Eliana, 1 for Miku. I was just using the auto skip and it stopped me, and I kept going forward, and then I realized this is completely new stuff because I'm doing this route, and it knows I'm doing this route. So, I guess we'll just continue right here, so, yay. I sat a little longer. This is at the dance, by the way. I always do. I'll start talking, then I realize I haven't mentioned where we are. So yeah, this is right during the dance. So yeah, I sat a little longer and then cautiously slipped away after making sure nobody noticed me. I totally didn't want to see anyone after such successful dancing. The most quiet place here is the bus station, which might never be visited by the 410 route again. But I let out a scream. There was a bus right in front of me, just like the one on the first day. I was petrified. How? What? Why? At once I remembered all my theories about getting to this camp. I was struck by the realization that during these last few days, I'd gotten so used to local life that I had started to forget about the things happening here I started to forget that the things happening here were really not normal. I just stood there and watched the damned Icarus. Then I slapped my hands to my cheeks to be sure that this is not an illusion. The bus was still there. If it is here, then it's time to go home. Sayonara, pioneers. I rushed to the door. Buzz. I came to my senses on the ground. My nose hurt like hell. I stood up and tried to understand what's going on. It seemed like I bumped into something. The bus was more than real to the touch. Try to reach my hand out through the door, but there was some kind of an invisible wall saying, "Bitch, you're not allowed on the bus." I was overwhelmed by a nearly animalistic fear. Fear of everything, the camp, its inhabitants, and this bus. How the hell did I even get here? What is this damned Icarus that I can't enter? And why is this happening to me? Suddenly a strong, unbalancing wind blew. I turned around and saw a little piece of paper under the wheel of the bus. Something was written on it. You are here for a reason. Oh, they all say the same thing. Okay. You are here for a reason. This is interesting. The bad handwriting seemed familiar. I certainly have seen it somewhere. It dawned upon me. I took a small charcoal from the ground and scribbled the same sentence on the backside. The handwriting was identical. My head cleared. I have sent a message to myself from the future. That's it. Or not. From the past. Damn, I don't understand anything. In any case, that was my handwriting. It certainly was not hard to forge it, but I was sure that I'd written the message myself. After turning that piece of paper over my hands, I decided to try entering the bus one more time. The invisible wall was still there. I hate invisible walls, especially when they're in real life. I circled all around the Icarus, tapped at the wheels, peeked inside through the window. Everything looked absolutely normal. But in reality, it wasn't. Heavy stones just bounced off the glass without visible damage. Dick? Just throw stones at a bus? No effect, not even a scratch. I sat down on the curb and sighed weakly. If you think about it, that piece of paper hinted at something. And it seems that this situation won't do me any harm. Semyon. Seems like the leader is looking for me. Or, Semyon. Interesting. What will she say about the bus now? Would she still insist that it won't be coming for a few days? I jumped up and ran towards the sound of Olga's voice. So what do you say about that? I blurted out triumphantly and waved my hand towards the road. Say about what? She replied in surprise. I turned around. The bus had disappeared. As suddenly as it had as suddenly as it had appeared. The cry of triumph died in my throat. Is it time to sleep already? Oh no, it is time to sleep already. Let's go. But, what? The bus. There was a bus just a moment ago. The bus couldn't be here, she said calmly. I stared at Olga's face. She was either skillfully lying or really didn't see anything. Then is it me who might be seeing things? Can't be true. I really saw that damned 410. Quit lying, I said quietly. Semyon, I don't understand. Stop lying to me. There was a bus. It's you. You're keeping me here. Why? I gritted my teeth, but tried to speak with a calm voice. You're scaring me. Time to go to bed. I won't get anything from her as usual. Seriously though, I really wanted to sleep. I walked swiftly past the leader, deliberately not paying any attention to her. I couldn't fall asleep for quite some time, and only the crumpled piece of paper with the words, "You're here for a reason," reminding me of the events of these 3 days were real. And I think that's it for new dialogue, so I'll be back if there's new stuff. Day 4 already, damn. Alright. Well, doesn't look like you had to wait long for me to bring you back. Actually, I don't even know my recording software open. Let me just double check. I am recording. Okay, good. Looks like it's time to wake up. I can't miss my breakfast. I got up, scratched myself, and suddenly remembered last evening. There's a piece of paper under the pillow. You are here for a reason. I still don't get it. What does it mean? How did I manage to send a message to myself? Why don't I remember that? More questions than answers. No answers at all, to be precise. I left the cabin and looked over the camp. No, it doesn't look like an illusion. But this memo, it made everything much more complicated. What can I trust? My stomach growled treacherously. Even Agent Mulder couldn't conduct investigations hungry. There's an unexpected crowd near the canteen. We saw this already, so, yeah, you know the drill. So this is interesting. Oh wait, I'm supposed to be doing this choice anyways. I was like, this is the choice for Semyon's route, and then I remembered, duh, you idiot, you're doing Semyon's route. That's the whole point of this. So, you see, the one that's not faded out is remain seated. There's do nothing, just keep sitting, then remain seated, and then do not follow the voice is the good end. So, yeah. I guess that's enough for me today. I sat in my previous place and waited for the end of the hike, patiently. Almost physically able to feel the looks of the camp leader aimed at me. At last she stood up and declared, "And now let's play cities." Cities? I had nothing against the game itself. I'd never heard of it. But it was obvious that the hike will take longer because of it. Pioneers sat around the fire. I noticed Lena and Elisa, who took their places on a trunk opposite me. Seems that everything is alright. And just a few moments ago, I'd thought the opposite while looking at their quarrel. Now Elisa's the only one with 1. Everyone else has got 2 for their routes, but Miko has a 3. But anything is possible. I'd really like to know what they were talking about, but it's impossible now, and I could feel tiredness growing in me more and more. I'm happy though that we actually got Semyon's route. Like, we actually got that to work. I wasn't sure if it would or not, but it does. My mind was completely blank. To be precise, my head was so heavy that there was no place in it for ideas to unfold. While in my better times, my brain appeared to be a wide highway with millions of thoughts running. We've seen this. Slavia didn't come back. Maybe she had something to do. Or someone to do. What? But once again, there was no way to find out now. Okay, let's start. Moscow. Moscow. I can't say it with her accent. Pioneers started to name cities. Finally, it was my turn. Tried to listen closely to catch the first letter of the city I'll have to use. That I'm not. No. Arkhangelsk? That's not how you pronounce it. We played several rounds. Each new city name made it harder for me to remember everything that was mentioned before. My attention was dissipating, and I was already lost in all these capitals, megalopolises, villages, and urban settlements. Semyon, it's your turn. Olga brought me back to reality. Oh, excuse me, and what was the last one? You were daydreaming again. It was Sevastopol. Okay, then I'll say London. Already used. Well then. Got me thinking. There are tons of cities in the world, starting with L. How about London? The other London, the one in Canada. But it was hard to remember even one of them now. Liverpool? Already there. Los Angeles? Ah, finally. She gave me a scornful look, but the game went on. I could hardly bear to think of another city starting with L, but fortunately, it was the last round. Okay, that's enough for today. It's already late. Time to go back. I sighed with relief. On our way back, we walked as we liked without joining in pairs. Night descended upon a camp. Upon a camp or the camp. A perfectly regular and normal night. It was one of those nights when dark skies, stars, and even a crescent moon don't cause any special feelings, and the chirping of crickets and the songs of the night birds seem more like routine work noises than a nocturnal chorus. In a few minutes, all the pioneers were lining up at the square. It was quite late already, and fatigue took its toll on so our lineup wasn't perfectly aligned. It looked to me more like a line of Vikings after a successful battle, where the warriors are happy and smiling, anticipating their return to their families, rather than thinking about maintaining correct formation. Vikings had formation? But someone else could possibly see a completely defeated troop or a bunch of survivors who had to march to their homeland with the last of their strength. Thanks, everyone. And now go to sleep. It's late already. Pioneers each ran their own ways, and I was left with the camp leader. And we should go too. We went in complete silence to Olga's cabin. Okay, let's sleep, she said, turning off the light. I was tossing and turning for quite a while, recalling the events of the day. On the one hand, I was overcome with fatigue. On the other hand, I couldn't shake the feeling that I'd forgotten something, done something wrong, said something wrong. And this feeling of incompleteness was tormenting me. Well, I think we were supposed to go help, Lena, but we didn't, so there's that. It was about 2 a.m. All bad things would end sooner or later, or at least would take a break. I fell asleep. That's usually what happens when you go to bed. I need to do soon. I'm tired. It's day 6! God, this is almost done. Where I doubt we'll get this in one video, but... Oh, we can't skip that. Okay. Day 6, yes. I don't know what time it was when Olga woke me up, but even before opening my eyes, I felt the imminence of death. My whole body ached. I felt dizzy. My mind was clouded by haze. Semyon, wake up immediately or you'll miss breakfast and, more importantly, the lineup. Looks like the camp leader intends to exploit me to the fullest today. The same as any other day. I garbled something, covered my head with the blanket, and turned to the wall. In the end, Olga's anger will never go beyond words. At least I really wanted to believe so, then. Stand up right now, or what? I was going to say triumphantly, but kept silent. Not because of fear, just because I felt too lazy to open my mouth. Really, what could she do to me? Lecture me at the lineup? Hang my photo on the wall of shame? Or use me for inhuman alien experiments? Well, I'm ready for that too. Just let me sleep a couple of hours. Okay, but you'll miss the lineup. It scared me. I thought someone was like awake. It's 6 a.m. No one's awake right now. The door slammed behind the camp leader. and the sleep which had been about to fade claimed my mind again. Woke up dazzled by sunlight. It was 1 p.m., according to my cell phone, which was squeezing the last drops of charge out of its battery. Seriously, this has to be a Nokia. Strangely, even my Nokia doesn't last that long when no apps are running on it. Strangely enough, my body didn't ache, my head felt clear, and all in all, it was a good beginning to the day. After waving my arms, pretending to do early exercises, I sprang out of the cabin and headed to the washstands. Yeah, I slept through breakfast, but we'll be served lunch soon. Lunch is at like 12, dude! So I shouldn't worry that I'll have to stay hungry like I did yesterday. I have no eyes! I have the shadows of like my hair and my sockets for your eyes, but I just have no eyes. Along the way, I met a pioneer whose face looked strangely familiar. Wait, what? But I was going so fast, that wasn't me? I couldn't really see him, and when I turned around, he was already gone around the corner. There was nobody near the washstands. Everyone is probably busy with Olga's tasks, and God knows what's out. God knows what else. I quickly brushed my teeth, washed my face, and was already going to leave when I suddenly heard the sound of water flowing from the opposite tap. This is called the Semyon route. The pioneer leaned against a washstand over there. I couldn't see his face, but judging by his figure, I can't see his eyes. But judging by his figure, he looked like the one I saw a couple of minutes ago. How you doing? It sounds so bright today. I looked up into the sky, shielding my eyes with my palm. Yeah, nothing special. I'm just giving him the regular voice, my voice. This is my voice. You can tell when I just go off topic like this. Yeah, whatever. It wasn't easy to get a better look at the pioneer, given the way he stood. The bright sunlight that reflected from the water and shiny metal surfaces of the washstands heavily obscured his face, and I wasn't able to distinguish any single feature. Can't believe he's angry today. So angry. His voice sounded painfully familiar too. Well, she's always like that. Well, you'd know better, yeah. I tried to remember if I'd ever heard this voice or seen this pioneer before. Yeah, it sounds like my voice or something. Well, see ya. He turned the water off and quickly marched towards the forest path. For a second I thought of stopping him, but I quickly fought it off as I decided that it's not worth spoiling such a great morning with suspicions or burdensome speculation. Nature was glowing with the bright light of life. Lush treetops were rhythmically swaying in the wind, whispering to each other. The breeze gently stroked the high emerald grass. Birds were cooing in the shade, escaping the midday heat. The woods and fields, stretching beneath the horizon, were dissolving in warm sunlight. I don't know which month it is now, but it looks like midsummer. I distinctly remember the summer vacations of my childhood and youth, times of fun leisure and carefree joy. Childhood games, how many there were. I wouldn't say no to playing war games or hide and seek now, or swinging on a bungee. Or maybe building a sandcastle and inhabiting it with toy soldiers, ready to defend their master to the last drop of their plastic blood. I went to the square and sat on the bench, waiting for lunch. It looked like there wasn't much time left before it. From time to time, pioneers passed by me, sometimes alone, sometimes in pairs or groups of 3. But always someone I didn't know. Elisa, Liana, Lena, or Slavia were nowhere to be seen. The thoughts about the meaningless of existence were circulating in my brain, but this didn't worry me on such a beautiful day. Just think about it. Who could think of grieving for his life lived in vain or lost early while basking in the rays of such a friendly sun? Certainly not me. I looked upon Genda. He was meditating, as always. Now he definitely never gets any unnecessary doubts. Oh, now he definitely doesn't. Oh, okay. It's emphasis on he. I remembered my first hours in this camp and the day before, the anguish, the anxiety, and fear. That all seems so far away now, although so little time has passed. Will I get out of here or not? It didn't concern me as much as before. Maybe I'm already dead. Then this is the last stop. Please get off the train. What? What are you thinking about? I looked up and saw that pioneer I'd seen before. I couldn't see his face again, as the sun was shining in my eyes. You know, life. It seemed he would sit down next to me, but the pioneer stayed in the same place, only half turned, which completely killed any hope of seeing his face. Listen, have we met earlier? I don't think I remember you. Well, let's say you know who I am. But I don't. I laughed sincerely. Here, you don't. He answered short. Oh, here you don't. I see. Honestly, it's not like I didn't want to talk. I just didn't know what to talk about. And my soul was so calming, this didn't bother me. Your first time here? He asked a question, but his tone implied he was only expecting a confirmation. Yes. And you? Me? He paused for a few seconds. Nah, it's not my first time here. One might say that I've visited this camp every year since my early childhood. Such an answer got me interested. Well, and what was it like before? It's always the same. Olga being the camp leader, all the same pioneers around, all the same lineups at the morning, and all these wicked accidents. For a moment I thought that it was me speaking, not him. Interesting. It's just that with every new, he hesitated, year, more and more interesting things happen, and one gets to understand better what's going on. What are you talking about? This conversation positively triggered my curiosity. It's a pity that I can't distinguish the face of this pioneer at all. Well, every session in the pioneer camp reminds me of the previous one, he said calmly. Probably. This is my first. It shows. Yeah, it shows, as in I just told you it's my first time. The pioneer grinned. But it looks like it won't be the last. Well, it's fun here and all, but you know how they say, there's no place like home, but you still have to get back there. Now I was absolutely sure that this guy was hiding something from me. To be precise, he stood out too much from the camp's usual ordinary. Again, I move on my chair and makes loud noises on the microphone. And the camp's usual ordinariness, and was too different from the local inhabitants. What do you mean? You think I'm stuck here forever or something? I said, enunciating every word. The pioneer had no time to answer as the lunch bell sounded. I turned my head towards the loudspeaker, and by the time I looked back, the guy was already gone. Thousands of theories and speculations instantly appeared in my mind. Oh, I thought that was the end of it. I looked down at my watch. Entered my mind, but I stopped myself, remembering all the apparent abnormality of this camp. After all, nothing supernatural has happened in these 5 days. Moreover, everything here seemed too natural, sometimes even boring. Maybe this pioneer didn't mean anything by that, and I just misunderstood him. Thinking that, I went to the canteen, intending to feast. Sometimes it seemed to me that lunch here is akin to the crowds around the soup kitchens during a famine. Pioneers were running around, pushing each other, trying to crawl through the first meal and take the most comfortable table. I was calmly standing and patiently waiting for the cook to get me my assigned food rations. Okroshka is a traditional Russian cold soup. For lunch today we had okroshka, which I didn't really like, and cutlets with potatoes. I sat in the corner and mentally rejoiced that I would be able to eat in peace. My table was the farthest from the kitchen. Let me guess. I'm gonna show up, aren't I? I could reasonably hope that the pioneers who were looking for a free place wouldn't reach it. Or would reach it last. However, when I moved on to the main course, Slavia, Shirk, and Electronic appeared from the crowd. Can we? I had nothing against their company. Of course. Lunch was going surprisingly calmly. Even Electronic wasn't jabbering as he usually does. I finally finished the meal, sprawled in my chair, and, satisfied, clicked my tongue. Why click your tongue? Listen, do you know this pioneer? I saw him today. You know, he has no eyes. He's so otherwise that I don't really know how to describe him. Well, about my height, same constitution. Hard to say from such a description. Slavia smiled. Well, we have half a camp of such guys if it comes to that. All in all, they were right. Why are you asking? It's just that I met him today. And it seemed like I haven't seen him here before. Look in the canteen. I don't think he'll miss lunch. Why didn't I think of that? Because you're an idiot, Semyon. That's it. Okay, guys, enjoy your meal. I got up and started to slowly walk along the rows of tables. Lena and Xenia were sitting over there. I gave them a friendly smile. Elisa and Ileana were laughing and arguing about something. Olga, surrounded by pioneers. Good thing she didn't notice me. There are hardly any free seats, but the guy from this morning is nowhere to be seen. The situation is getting more and more interesting. Looks like I won't find him here. Maybe he already had lunch. I headed to the exit. It was so hot outside that it seemed like you would instantly melt after coming out of the shade. I suddenly felt like sleeping. I yawned and headed to the camp leader's cabin in order to follow the domestic interpretation of the Archimedes principle. In the end, Olga is likely to return anytime soon. At least I think so. And I will definitely have a couple hours to rest. Anyways, I really don't expect any other options to arise, especially in this heat. The heavenly coolness in the cabin became my salvation. Theoretically speaking, this cabin would be pretty damn hot, would it not? I took my clothes off and jumped into bed. Crickets were lazily chirping outside. The wind was shaking the curtains on the window, and I sank into a dream. Knocking on the door woke me up, and I will leave this video, this impromptu video. I wasn't actually expecting to have to record part of Semyon's route so soon, but yeah, I will leave this video here. Thank you. There we go. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.